As you all know, your boy King Thrash is gay.
Fanboys suck a whole lot of dick. I mean, well, I do too, but...
Because I like gay Xbox. People fuck me behind in so many different ways. More and more and more. Listen, bro. Hi-Fi Rush exposes Sony because this is the majority of the type of games that Microsoft is going to deliver. They're more prettier than PlayStation games. It doesn't make any sense. We need that game. We need that game drastically for the PlayStation. I'm crying for an indie level game. I'm crying for that. PlayStation players are crying about Hi-Fi. PlayStation players are crying about this. Did you cry? Do y'all cry? Y'all must cry. But the dumbness don't end there. Forspoken came out days before Hi-Fi. You had people pretending that they were okay with this game. Is that the ritual? Forspoken is a bad game. This bitch don't even got titties. Like, look, you guys gotta understand something, bro. PlayStation players care. Microsoft drops games. It's clearly a problem.
How dare you, Frit? How dare you keep us deprived of salt for this long? Yeah, I know, that's what I kept telling myself the last 7 days, but you gotta understand, the salt was so potent, I had to get high off it myself. Put the window breaker away, okay? I didn't snort all of it. I left plenty for all of you, okay?
Just to get us high for hours. I know.
Oh, wow, Frit. I subscribed to you thinking you were gonna be creative, but here you are once again making fun of PlayStation fanboys.
Playing with PlayStation fanboys' feelings. That's the most childish thing I've ever heard of. But it's fun!
Look, what am I supposed to do? Farm salt from everybody else when it's not as good? Am I supposed to lie to myself and say, yeah, the Xbox salt and Nintendo salt is just as good? No, it's not. You'd figure with how popular and amazing of a console the PlayStation 5 is supposed to be, that not a single one of these fanboys would be peeking over the fence to see what the Xbox were playing. But seeing as how Forspoken is what they got dropped with in January, can you really blame them?
They betrayed me, they didn't keep their promise, they tricked me and I don't care anymore.
The best thing PlayStation guys got this month was a TV show. Meanwhile, over there on the little subscription service called Game Pass, an absolute banger just stealth dropped. And that banger is Hi-Fi Rush. Never in my life would I have ever imagined PlayStation fanboys would be losing their minds over Game Pass fodder and indie twash. So for those of you who legitimately don't know, and that's okay, it's not your fault, Xbox Stealth dropped a cel-shaded rhythm game that nobody was expecting. There was no promotional work done for this game, there was no advertising, and honestly, isn't that the best type of release? Especially in today's industry where games are advertised and hyped up for about 4 years before they launch, which oftentimes leads to more discussion about these games than people actually playing them. Meanwhile, Hi-Fi Stealth drops and everybody's playing it, because when that happens, nobody has time to go to a podcast and stream for 8 hours speculating about anything. It really says something when you let your game do all the talking and not the PR people. Nobody could have guessed that Microsoft would be the one to save the month of January, but thank God they did, because we needed a palate cleanser after Forspoken, let's face it. Unfortunately, we know PlayStation fanboys will never see it that way. They could all just subscribe to Game Pass and play this on their powerful PCs that they say they all have, but instead they'd rather use those PCs to log onto Twitter. From Tango Gameworks, makers of The Evil Within, comes something completely different. Hi-Fi Rush is an all-new action game where everything you do syncs to the beat. Available today on Xbox Series X/S via Xbox Game Pass and PC.
You can't do that. You have
Why
to go.
can't I do that?
You have to go by. You have to go by where. Look.
So when Forspoken does it, it's cringe. Love the gameplay though. And to think people complain about the dialogue in Forspoken. This game looks awful. So far the most generic, cheesy dialogue. But some people like that, so gameplay looks fine, but the jokes sound as cringy as Forspoken. This is literally the same dialogue as Forspoken.
Killing God That was clearly humanity's greatest mistake. Why did we do it? This is merely a glimpse to the future of what's going to happen to all nuance, and it ain't looking too pretty. Soon people won't be able to tell the difference between Velma and South Park, and that's quite a scary future. Hopefully all this salt I consume ends my life before then, cause I don't want to live in that future. The fact that nobody in this thread could actually see the differences between Forspoken's cringe-ass dialogue and Hi-Fi's is making me question the very reality I live in right now.
So let me get this straight. I'm somewhere that's not what I would call Earth.
Yep, that's me. And you're probably wondering how I ended up here.
I'm seeing freaking dragons.
Music player in my chest. It's making everything sync up with the beat.
And, oh yeah, I'm talking to a cuff.
It's powering up my new robot arm.
Yeah, okay, that is something I do now. I do magic, kill jacked up beasts. I'll probably fly next.
Let's rock.
They're the same picture.
Forspoken is rated M, and not for the right reasons. It's the constant cringe-ass swearing in this game that makes it rated M, as it tries to write its character off as being a badass, and it doesn't help that the voice actors is a little too try-hard in that department. Forspoken is sold off as a mature game, yet as a grown-ass man I would rather be caught playing Hi-Fi Rush. Also, let's face it, the voice actor for Chai in Hi-Fi is excellent. His delivery is nearly flawless. He sounds like a character, where Ella Balinska sounds like herself, rehearsing her script. They aren't on the same level, not even close. And that's probably because Robbie Damon is actually an experienced voice actor with credentials behind him, while Frey is Ella's first gig, and you can tell. I may be a tone-deaf musician, but even my ears can pick up on it. My god, it's been a week already and people are still capping for Forspoken. I guess it wasn't completely forgotten.
In less than 24 hours. Hashtag Xbox. Hashtag can't make this shit up, folks. Hashtag forever last place.
I'm telling you, that one ain't getting laid.
I don't actually understand the meme. I don't get it. Oh, hold on. Maybe I have to lose a few brain cells in order to understand it. Let me load some hash. Oh, I get it. I get it. It took only 24 hours for everybody to forget about Forspoken. Well, that doesn't make sense. Why would J-Dub diss his own game? Oh, he's trying to make fun of Xbox gamers for capping for an indie cel-shaded game over a AAA banger like Forspoken? God damn, maybe the hash I made isn't as good as I thought. I'd have to lose a couple more brain cells just to get it, but seeing as how I still want most of my basic cognitive functions, I'm gonna pass and let you guys figure it out. Here, have some more pony salt. Let's see how retarded you have to get to understand the joke.
Why did Xbox stealth launch Hi-Fi Rush?
Why do you care? Stop talking about Xbox and go play something. You honest to God want my best guess, Saltiest? I think Xbox took one look at Forspoken and said, damn, we feel bad for gamers. Let's give them a palate cleanser, shall we? Because we all know Forspoken's gonna be forgotten about in just a few days. Oh, not even a few days, 24 hours. And 3 days after that, it was put on discount. The gaming community needed something to make up for that disaster. I know it's not the best of theories, but I'm high as fuck.
What the 12 teraflops for this?
It's actually, thanks to you, I was quickly reminded that this game is not on the Xbox One. What the hell, Microsoft? You're gonna stealth drop a banger like this and not put it on your last-gen consoles? Well, anyways, yes, clearly you don't need 12 teraflops to run something like this. It's got a timeless art style that all future hardware will be able to run just fine. Why it's not on last-gen consoles is beyond me. Major screw-up in my opinion. Well, either way, PlayStation has their PS5 with its super fast, future-proof SSD that was gonna revolutionize the gaming industry. And what do you have to show for it? Sifu, Kenya, and Stray. Yeah, see how easy of a game that is to play? Well, it's a very stupid game to play, and if you don't want to win stupid prizes, let's not go down this road.
Hi-Fi Rush has been in development since 2017, 4 years before the Bethesda buyout. PS5 or PS4 version of the game may have been part of the original plan.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Ooh, oh no! PlayStation gamers missing out on content! It's just not fair! This Hunter guy is the biggest FAGGOT on Twitter.
he's out of line, but he's right.
Dude doesn't even try to hide the fact that he's a PlayStation fanboy, and he's a journalist at the same time too. Never reports when PlayStation pulls games away from Xbox, but the minute Xbox had anything pulled away from PlayStation, oh, it's reporting time. Did you see Hunter crying when PlayStation paid to have Bethesda have timed exclusive content for the PlayStation console? No, you didn't. And that was during a time Microsoft was acquiring Bethesda. But the minute they tell Bethesda, hey, don't publish that game on PlayStation, only publish it on our console and PC. Oh, all of a sudden it's news. All of a sudden it's something worth talking about and considering. Either way, this was debunked by the creators. Here, have a listen for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have like a specific console in mind even at that point. We were just kind of going for what looked cool. And then obviously then the acquisition happened, and then it sort of like our console was then defined. So I know people were saying it's like, oh, there was like, it's like a PlayStation prototype running somewhere. It's like, no, like it was just running on a PC. It's like,
you're too in the weeds if you're seeing that.
My God, Hunter, and you call yourself a journalist. That's why you can't mix your fanboyism in with your professional career, you goddamn moron. Straight out of the director's mouth, he says there was no PlayStation version. There wasn't even a console version in development at the time. But even then, if any of it was even true, who gives a shit? These are the same marketing strategies Sony does.
I'm seeing a lot of people asking me to look at Forspoken versus Hi-Fi Rush Steam numbers. Okay.
Look everyone, it's the red faggot! You know what the best part about all of this is? No, it's not just him trying to damage control for Forspoken and put down an Xbox game to make himself feel better. It's the fact that his tweet didn't age well whatsoever. Because just a few days ago, Hi-Fi Rush made it to the top 10 sellers on Steam, while Forspoken isn't even in that spot. Forspoken reached an all-time peak of 9,000 players, only to drop to 1,000 playing currently, while 4,000 are playing Hi-Fi Rush on Steam as we speak.
The numbers don't lie!
How did this happen? How is it possible a game that was stealth dropped, that nobody saw coming, outperforming a $70 AAA game from Square Enix that had a massive marketing campaign behind it for several years? You can't make this shit up.
Man, I have the world's most powerful console, Xbox Series X. This show, Xbox Developer Direct, was beyond horrible, bro. Ain't no saving them.
Going on here? What is this tinky winky shriveled up short skinny? Who's you?
You're probably wondering how I ended up here.
No, I don't. I got 12 T-flops.
It's powering up my new robot arm.
This is your brain on drugs.
You notice the constant rocking back and forth, the hyperventilation, the constant stuttering. He just got done smoking the fattest hit of crack. I know I shouldn't laugh, but the man is clearly intoxicated. Never mind, change that to PCP.
Not defect.
Is this the guy?
One boss at a time.
My man had to douse himself in a bottle of codeine just to help relieve himself of the seething. Dude looks like he's on some adrenochrome. Somebody please send this to one of his family members. I'm seriously concerned. It is not okay to administer that many drugs over video games. He's doing irreversible damage to himself over Hi-Fi. The dude is squirming around like a Muppet over some Game Pass fodder. Think about that. This isn't even the best Microsoft has to offer. This is just the beginning. I want to see how far we can take it. What are they gonna do next?
What up, gamers? It's your boy King Thrash back at it once again with another video. Remember, like, subscribe, don't like, subscribe. Look.
The grand moment you've all been waiting for. The highlights of King Thrash losing his mind over Forspoken. Watching this video live, I knew immediately there was an endless amount of ways I could splice up his video into a nice YouTube poop for all of you to enjoy. You could easily tell King Thrash put more hours into making his video than the hours he spent in Forspoken, which says a lot about the state of PlayStation games. Do you see what happens, PlayStation? Do you see what happens, PlayStation, when you
a stranger in the ass!
Well, yeah, that too. But besides that, do you see what happens, PlayStation, when you don't put out something entertaining? Ponies will have to rely on entertaining themselves via console wars. This one's on you, Jim Ryan. It's your fault this video exists.
Now, this game was being made back in it started in 2017, so much before Microsoft thought about buying Activision, okay? Way before. But they stealth dropped it. And I think that's the dumbest thing that they have done for the entirety of Phil Spencer's tenure.
Goddamn, King! Why are you acting like this is an unplanned pregnancy? This, for once, was not just a nice change of pace for Microsoft, but for the entire industry. Having surprise announcements like this don't happen quite often, and Lord knows it was much needed, especially with what we got in Forspoken. Let's face it, the only reason King Thrash is actually pissed off this game was stealth dropped, instead of advertised heavily for like 2 years, is because it didn't give him enough time to tweet about it before it released. That's what he's actually pissed off about.
It doesn't make any sense. This game would have had a trailer and people would have been hype about it, and you would have had more hype behind your console or trash ass service.
King, legitimately, why do you care? You hate Xbox games. Why does it matter how they release games if you're just gonna trash all of them anyway? Who cares how the game chose to be released? All that matters is that it's here and it's really good. But obviously King knows he can't actually trash this game because deep down inside, he wants to play it and he knows it's good. So instead, he wants to trash how the game decided to be released. This man is truly innovating the console wars, going places no other console warrior has gone before.
It's so backwards on what you're trying to do. Look, I can't knock it like that. I just think it's dumb. But it's also something that you niggas need to start expecting from Microsoft. Because this is the majority of the type of games that Microsoft is going to deliver.
Wait, so what you're saying is we should start expecting Microsoft to deliver more stealth bangers like this? Well, sign me up! Oh wait, I'm already subscribed to Game Pass. Damn! This adds more value to the service. Would you look at that? Overall, I disagree with you here, King. I think Microsoft doing stealth drops like this will get more people to tune into future events that they host. It gives people a reason to tune in. You never know. Now, I actually kind of look forward to their next game direct. I have a reason now to tune in to see if any surprise launches will happen that same night. If this is what's to be expected of Microsoft going forward, then I'm actually kind of excited.
You're gonna get more and more and more and more of these cartoon-like games. And look, there ain't a problem. I keep telling people, everybody be like, oh, everything don't gotta be AAA. And you're right. Everything don't have to be a high level graphically. And you're right. But every game doesn't have to be a fucking art style choice either. You know what I'm saying? You have 12 teraflops of power, the most teraflops for any console, and have yet to even try to attempt to push that shit.
Well, luckily for you, you're gonna get to see that in Stalker 2, which graphically looks like the most impressive thing coming out this year. But on top of that, we're getting bangers like this as well, which are also visually pleasing to look at. Hi-Fi has a timeless art style. This game will hold up 100 years from now. Nothing about Hi-Fi looks unimpressive. This is easily the most well-animated and most beautiful-looking cel-shaded cartoon game I have ever laid my eyes upon. Do you really think ultra-realistic graphics would suit a game like this? Art directions like this have to exist for artists to be able to express themselves in different ways. The fact that it doesn't have to utilize all 12 teraflops in order to look this gorgeous and run as flawlessly as it does is a lot more impressive in my eyes.
And please don't come at me with Forza, because there are already comparisons out there that show that the older Forzas are more prettier than this newer Forza.
More prettier! More prettier! And this man has the audacity to call me stupid? Better start hitting the books so you can get more smarter, King.
Stupid science bitch couldn't even make I more smarter.
But the dumbness don't end there. For some reason, Xbox fans keep saying, and I keep seeing this, that PlayStation players are crying about Hi-Fi.
Well, aren't ya?
Well, yeah. But you
Get out.
Crying for what, nigga? Our cartoon games look like Ratchet and Clank and Kena. crying for a indie level game, a $30 6-hour game. I'm crying for that. How?
Well, I don't know, you tell me, King. Who's the one with the 17-minute long video ranting about Hi-Fi right now? And no, Hi-Fi Rush is more around the 10-hour mark, which is why it's appropriately priced, unlike Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which also takes the same amount of time to beat, as well as Kenya.
Anyone who, let me ask you a question. Did you cry when God of War came out? Is that the ritual? Like, you think you move like PlayStation moving? Xbox players move like PlayStation players move or something? Do y'all cry? Y'all must cry. Because for 2022, you didn't have shit. For 2020, you didn't have shit. Nothing.
Well, someone's got to remind King to look at his calendar because it's no longer 2022. It's 2023. And right off the bat, the first month of the year, Microsoft dropped a banger. And I know it's a certified banger because every single PlayStation fanboy is talking about it right now, including you.
Look, you guys gotta understand something, bro. No matter how many games Microsoft drops, Sony players aren't gonna care.
Oh, really? Well, prove it to me right now, King. Stop making videos on all these Xbox games that don't exist. That should have been your New Year's resolution. You say PlayStation gamers aren't going to care, but you make a video on every single Xbox game that has dropped. You say Xbox got no games, but that can't be when your channel is filled with videos talking about all of them. If Xbox truly had no games, you would have no channel.
Xbox players. PlayStation players do not feel like you because we have games to play. Forspoken came out days before Hi-Fi, and just because y'all want to pretend that Forspoken is a bad game in order to big up or make yourselves feel better, and trust me, I know you're gonna say, oh, but the reviewers have been on bullshit. They've been on for numerous reasons. They have been on bullshit. Ben Beat your games, please. Play this game, beat your game, but don't champion this game if you don't want Microsoft to continue to give you children games.
Yeah, okay, that's it. That's enough for me. I lost enough brain cells today reading the J-Dub tweet. If you want me to be able to continue making YouTube videos, then you should understand why I need to stop here. This is not a kid's game. This is a game for everyone. Meanwhile, Forspoken was marketed for, apparently, what they consider adults like you. And yet, between the two of them, you're deciding to talk about the one that's the, quote-unquote kids game. I'm sorry the main character doesn't swear and have a criminal record like Frey does. You know, very mature themes, but ultimately what really matters about a video game is how good it is, not who it's marketed towards. So yeah, I'm gonna play and beat the game because this is what I support. Good games, and you should too. Which clearly you do, because when I take a look at your PSN profile, it's a bunch of cartoonish, quote-unquote kids games you're playing. And to think this is just one game that has come out from Microsoft this year. We still got a couple of others that are supposed to drop, and Lord knows how bad it's going to get. The only bad thing about Xbox games is that they get PlayStation gamers not to play their own. Microsoft could get sued for that. No wonder they don't drop too many games frequently. And all starting to make sense. Well, anyways, if you have any interest in seeing this channel reach 60,000 subscribers, then you should consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you so choose to. And with that being said, I'm terrified of seeing you next time.
Because if I knew that I didn't wait on this story, for Tango Plays would have made a video roasting me for about 30 minutes.
You're goddamn right.